So, what did we just watch?
Jaws.
We watched Jaws,
Original.
the original
First movie.
first perfect movie, and it's hard to say bad things about Jaws, right?
Yeah, it's a great movie.
It's it's one of those little perfect films.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's very, very few perfect movies, right? I don't even think there's 100. I'd say there's probably 10 really, really. Nah, forget really, really. There's 10 perfect movies out there, and Jaws is one of them.
It's hard to go wrong.
It's like Michelangelo's David. It's a piece of art, and it is perfect.
And then when you do criticize it, you're a piece of shit.
Yeah, like you, like, yeah. I feel
Dare
like
you?
I feel like a piece of shit for even.
Because it's just nitpicky stuff.
Yeah, it's you're looking at a perfect glass of single malt whiskey, right?
Yeah.
And you know what the worst thing about it is? It's when you drink it really fast and then it's gone. And you're like, well, that was drunk pretty fast. That's bullshit. Or, hey, that's all gone now. You're nitpicking that there's none of it left.
That is the ultimate of nitpick.
And this movie is the ultimate. I'm sorry if that analogy was shit.
No, I
But
get it.
I'm just making it up as I go along, right? This is how we do this, okay?
Yes, we're experts.
Perfect. So, yeah, this is one of those perfect movies. Like, what other perfect movies do you think there are? Give me two other perfect movies.
Two?
Yeah, two.
Well, Jaws is my favorite movie, so
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think of other favorite movies.
Okay,
But it's all like nostalgia based, so.
I can name probably I can name a lot of movies I've seen, but I think that perfect ones are obviously very difficult to come by. But I'm thinking stuff like right off the bat, I think there's two perfect ones. Maybe everyone would agree with.
What?
Thinking Casablanca and Godfather. The Godfather, the first one, and
Okay.
Casablanca. Those two, I think everybody
Like
would agree.
universally
Universally, like,
applauded.
man, perfect movies.
Mm.
Um, but maybe Ghostbusters.
Mm-hmm.
Ghostbusters. But we'll come. That's for another
That's a
discussion for another day.
that's a whole movie discussion.
So, why did we watch Jaws?
I'm not sure. You said Jaws.
I said Jaws because this is the first movie that we're reviewing together, and it should be Jaws
What?
because you're. If anybody doesn't know, my lady is the biggest Jaws fan, and when I first, let's just say, as we got to know each other, I got to know her Jaws pajamas
Yeah.
and her Jaws action figures. So you were the biggest Jaws fan. I love Jaws, so this is one of our movies, and this should be the first movie we watch.
Because it has personal meanings.
Yes,
Mm.
and this is something we're making for us. So Jaws should be the first movie we watch.
I get it.
Right. And all right, the first thing that you see when you watch, or the first thing that you feel when you watch Jaws, you put it on, and the first thing that you feel is John Williams,
Yes.
right? Just that.
Mood.
Dun, 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 dun. That's like that's
Iconic.
it's iconic, and that's that's it, right? It's brilliant. It's perfect.
How old are you when you first watched?
I remember when I first watched it. I was in my granddad Michael's house. He's long gone. Occasionally, he lived in the town that I lived in very briefly when I was young, very young, and I would go to his place, me and my brothers, and he's our granddad, right? And he would give us chocolates, and we really loved him. And occasionally, you'd go into the living room, and I'd see my aunts, much younger back then, obviously, and there'd be something on the TV, and it would be the first glimpses of something that I'd seen. So that was the first time I saw Police Academy,
Mhm.
Just in the distance in that small wee TV, and it's the first time I saw Jaws. Just in the wee distance, but it was like, wow, I need to see more of that. When was the first time you saw Jaws?
I'm not sure specific, like specifically the first time. I just remember being young and seeing it and being fascinated by it.
Mm. And what was fascinating about Jaws to you?
Just the I don't know. It's a scary movie, and I liked being scared like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. When I looked into sharks
Cool.
and
I was never into sharks, like Shark Week, all that stuff, Sharknado, big shark phases. I was never into sharks, but I always loved Jaws. Jaws was like a different. It wasn't a shark movie.
hmm.
It was a movie. You know,
Mhm.
it was a film. It was a something separate from other things. And uh, so yeah, looking back on it now, going all the way to the beginning, we watched it tonight, and I was watching it with this idea of what's gone from Jaws, right? We've seen it, you and me, countless times.
Mm.
So I was watching it now, and I was trying to think of the impact of like Chrissy dying. Is her name Chrissy? I think it was
Mhm.
Chrissy.
Yeah.
Her, shocking death, and the other shocking moments in the movie. Um, what still had an impact, or
Mhm.
what was not quite impactful.
Mhm.
And I was trying to think what, and
Like, what are you comparing it to?
I'm comparing it to,
Like when you originally
yeah, like because we've seen the movie so many times, and there's only so many times a moment can be shocking to you,
Mhm.
right? Then it's still it's just a thing that's happening now, and we've seen it 100 times. Therefore, it has no shocking value,
But now
right?
you paid attention
Right.
like
So yes,
hardcore.
I was paying attention, and I was like, okay, what's gone?
Yeah.
What is now? What doesn't exist for me with Jaws anymore? If that makes any sense.
Like, yeah.
I watched it, and I took each moment as they came along, and nothing was gone. Chrissy's death at the beginning is still
Still got
shocking,
yeah.
and um, that Kittner boy,
Mhm.
right, when he's dragged under and you can hear him gargling his breath, he's losing air. Whoever's
Like
pulling him,
screaming
yeah,
on the way down.
yeah,
Wah!
whoever's pulling him down there is pulling him down, and that boy can't breathe. And the every other scene, the character scenes are still so rich. The dialogue is
Mhm.
still perfect. The shark scenes are still shocking. I mean, if you put them yourself in their shoes rather than our shoes, and we've seen it 100 times, put yourself in fucking Quint's shoes when that fucking shark torpedo is running up the back of the orca and slamming into your deck.
And then takes a huge bite into your midsection.
So for me,
Gross.
this is there's Jaws is still a perfect movie, but we have to talk about it because we're talking about how great it is. Blah blah blah. Let's tell people how we think it's great, and I will start with Amity. I think Amity feels like a lived-in place.
Mhm.
It feels real.
I also agree.
Hmm. There's characters we see in the background later come to the foreground, and they're still like at the start when Brody's driving around in his Jeep, you see them in the background
Mhm.
in their stores. Then later on, you see them in the beach. They're the same people who were at those stores are at the beach, and then they're at the meeting later on. These people seem to just live in this town.
Yeah, it's very much a community. Like when Brody is trying to gather the signs for the beach closing, and then the guy with the bicycle tire comes out, and he's all annoyed.
Mm-hmm.
It's just random little small town snippets.
Yeah,
It's good.
snippets of a real place and a real time and something that's really happening.
Yeah.
So everybody in Amity is to me really there, really like real people. Except for now, this is a criticism I have of the movie. Okay,
Okay, I'm
because
ready.
all right, because nothing is perfect. We've talked about it being perfect, but nothing. What I'm saying is nothing is perfect. You know, like like in a Street Fighter 2, you know, when you hit him and you kill him and there's no kills and there's no hits to you, and it's like, perfect. So nothing is perfect. Jaws kind of, got a few hits on you, right?
Mhm.
I don't know what I'm trying to say. Anyway, I'll tell you one that sticks out to me,
Okay.
and you're going to agree with me.
Mhm. All right.
It's Alex Kittner's mother.
The 80-year-old.
She's too old.
Ah.
She's just too old.
Mhm.
She's on the beach with Alex, and he gets into the water. Famous scene. The boy is destroyed, and they bring back the thing all bloody, and it's awful. And then later on, his mother slaps Brody, and it's a hard scene, and either her granddad or father or husband is right beside her, and they
He
both look
also looks very old.
they both look like
Like,
85
what
years
is the
old.
story there?
Yeah, I don't know. It's like, did she have a baby later in life?
Is it actually her grandson? But
Maybe it's a grandson. It's not really.
or they adopted because they couldn't have children, and then they just.
See, you're given this.
I'm trying to explain it.
Yeah, and I think that when I see her grieving for this boy, I don't believe she's this boy's mother.
You don't think it's.
No, I mean, I know,
Who
I
is
get
she?
she's
Because she's like, my boy is dead.
I just wanted you to know that.
So who is she?
No, she is his mother, but I'm saying that she was maybe miscast. That's all.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Like, yeah.
Yeah. What do you think about
It
the
just doesn't make sense. What?
Another thing I wanted to mention was the continuity, which is great as well. Continuity of these people live here, therefore, um, like when Brody and the mayor and Dreyfus are at the sign, and in the back, and then in the very distance, you can see Brody's truck, his little sheriff truck. It's not like parked right beside him. It's parked far away in a little road. It tells you that, Brody actually drove there from the town or from his work, and he walked all the way over here, and it's a nice little
It's
scene.
lived in.
Yeah, that helps establish the world and make you invest further in Brody, and it just helps all those little things you don't speak about or mention or think about. It's like that thing
It's
in,
subtle.
yeah, like that Mike in Red Letter Media. What does it say?
You may not have noticed.
But your brain did.
Yeah.
Aye, that's it. And let's talk about jump scares.
Okay.
How many you watch a modern horror movie now, right? And you can think of all these cheapy ass jump scares that they try and do and freak you out. Jaws has maybe 4 of them, and each of them are fucking good. Like, you can show this to anyone new, fresh, and they still jump because
Yeah,
they're freaky.
they're not cheap. Like, they're not. They do surprise.
They're well earned.
Yeah.
Like, what's your favorite jump scare in Jaws?
Probably the cage. At the end of the movie.
The end of the movie.
With when he's in the cage and he's not looking in the right direction, and
Yeah,
the shark
underwater.
comes in.
Yeah, Dreyfus is underwater, and then the shark comes in, and there's no sound, and you see it almost like a silent movie. Everyone is yelling at the screen, "Turn around!"
Yeah, because
and and the shark is just going like blah, crashes like Godzilla or something.
And I like that it's quiet, and you see you see the shark cup like is coming just for a split section, and then you get that loud crash of him hitting the cage. It's so well done.
Perfect.
What do you like?
My favorite jump scare, when I was a kid.
Yeah.
This made this movie terrifying. It's when Brody is chumming, throwing the chum line, keeping it going, and he's fucking tired. His hands sore, and he says, I can slow ahead. You come chump some of this shit." And the shark comes out behind him, and he freaks out. And to me, that was when, like, the stakes. You see the stakes. This is a fucking monster, and it poked up, and you see it for the first time, and you're like, "Holy fuck!"
And it's dense. Like, it looks thick and, like,
hungry.
scary. Yeah.
And Brody comes back and he says, "We're
Beast.
going in a bigger boat." And everyone in the audience is like, "Yeah."
Holy shit.
And another thing about continuity, I says, how everything feels lived in. Um, the continuity in terms of the movie making is spot on as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like when Dreyfus brings the two wine bottles to the house and eats Brody's dinner, he offers him red and white wine, and then Brody opens up the red wine, fills everyone's glass, and especially his glass. Red wine is gone.
Mm.
Later on in the scene, that scene's gone. Sorry, later on, there's the scene with Brody and Dreyfus, and they're cutting open the shark. No, they're in Dreyfus's yacht, and Brody's drinking, and he's got a bottle of white wine in his hand,
Mm-hmm.
and that was the leftover wine. So they have
Yes.
he doesn't appear with like a bottle of red wine or whatever. It's the white wine that he never opened yet. It's neat,
Just, yeah, little details.
tiny little
Keeps you
details.
going.
Yeah, that makes it just believable.
I noticed one this time around, like when Quint gets his hand cut, or
The rope.
the rope,
Mm.
and then later on he's not even using it. He has like a glove on it, and he's not even using that arm to like steer
Oh, neat.
the
So
boat. And then when he, yeah,
because his hand's so messed up, it's just like I'm not going to be using it.
yeah. So when I think he was like turning the steering wheel or something.
So we've talked about Amity. Let's talk about Brody, Hooper, and Quint. I've
Mm-hmm.
said, and you've agreed with me, that in real life they wouldn't be friends.
No.
No, because they're all individually different people. They're just so different. There's, Brody is the lawman, the tight lawman.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, scared of the water, right? And Hooper is young and enthusiastic and rich and wants to get the truth and is curious about sharks. And Quint is Quint. Oh, he's fucking Quint. So they're all very very different, and they almost they almost feel like that in real life. I guess when you see them, they just act different. You could never even see them being friends in real life.
No. They
And
look they look like they come from very different worlds, so seeing them together is odd.
and they act excuse me, they act like they're from different worlds. Like they're never friends really. They might have bonded, as Quint is telling his story about the USS in the Indianapolis, but they're not friends. They're just there doing a job. They're there to kill a shark, right?
Yeah, they're just sort of thrown together because of this circumstance.
Mm-hmm. It makes it, and it's another thing that helps add to the believability for me.
And they're not like cliche. Like, I think if they redid this movie now, they just make the characters really boring and cliche and have like obvious traits to them.
Yeah, and they'd have CGI flying sharks.
Yeah.
Some bullshit. What was your?
And like The Rock
Sorry.
would be Brody, and
Oh yeah.
Zac Efron's the new science kid.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Yeah, in the town, like in this movie, the first 90 minutes is probably in Amity, getting
Yeah.
to know everybody. The last 30 minutes is on the boat, and
they'll tell us their background, not show us.
yeah, I
am this person who did this thing
Hey,
10 years ago.
I'm Ben Gardner. I own this boat over here, and I like going fishing at night. What was your favourite line in Jaws?
Oh shit. I don't have an answer yet. Do you?
Yeah.
Alright.
It's the classic "Smile, you son of a bitch." That to me was cool.
Super cool.
Yeah, and it never like, hey, we're going to need a bigger boat, blah blah blah. Those were just lines in a movie, But "Smile, you son of a bitch." That was like to me the Dirty Harry moment. The
It's
Arnold
like the
Schwarzenegger.
triumphant yes.
And everyone was like,
He's
"Fuck
got him."
yeah, you fucker got you."
Satisfying.
I've got a theory.
Sorry.
I've got a theory, right?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that I'm a Twilight Zone fan.
Mm.
This would have been a really good Twilight Zone episode.
Explain.
So here's Quint, and he's doing his famous speech of the USS in Indianapolis. It's a horrific story. Okay?
Mm.
He escapes. He is free. Or is he? Because years later, the spirits of all those sharks, or that force of nature that was meant to kill him, is coming back. Because the shark in Jaws isn't really a shark, right? It's not a creature in the water. It's more than that. It embodies something more. It's it's Quint's past coming for him, and it's Quint facing that monster that they never had that encounter, him and the
Mm-hmm.
shark. This is him against his past, against this deadly thing that's coming back. It's just like a Twilight Zone
I'd
force
watch
of
that.
man versus nature. And what he's getting is that force of nature coming back on him. So the shark doesn't exist. It is the shark is a metaphor for this man's unfinished business. He needs his
Hmm.
revenge, and the shark needs to eat him because
Because he is
it
shark.
missed him. He's the one that got away.
Oh.
The shark needs to eat him.
Unfinished business.
Quint needs to kill this shark. It's man versus beast,
Mm-hmm.
and it's so it could be a cool Twilight Zone episode.
You should just write it.
No, I don't. I don't do that. Anyway, what about this? I thought of this. What if you're a shark and you need to scratch your back? You will never be able to scratch your back if you're a shark.
They have pilot fish that clean them.
They have friend fish.
Yeah.
So a
Maybe
friend.
that's what they use.
So there's a fish that comes and grooms a shark.
I don't know if they. Well, I don't know if they groom it, but they do have like fish that hang out beside them, and maybe they just.
Just like, hey mate, I've got a wee scratch on the taint there. You want to take care of it? And the fish is like, oh, blah, blah,
and
blah, blah, got my mouth full. Blah.
then they eat the scraps that the shark doesn't eat.
Okay, so it's a sort of you scratch my back, or in this
Symbiotic.
case, you don't. Yeah, literally, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours, or I'll eat yours.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Anyway, lastly, I want to say that what two last things. What makes Jaws great?
I'm going to say the characters.
Expand.
I don't know. I think that's the part that I appreciate now as an adult. Like when I was younger, I was all about like how this movie made me feel. It was like scary and it looked cool. The scenes were cool and shocking. But now as an adult, I like the chemistry and the characters.
I think I'm on the same page. When you're a kid, it's all about the scares, the shark, the horror.
Yeah.
I love horror movies, and this was horrific.
Yeah.
The deaths, the explosions. Yeah, it's what I enjoy as a kid, but as an adult, it is the characters, it is the chemistry, it is seeing characters go against each other, but also actors and their egos go against each other.
Yeah.
Like Dreyfus and Robert Shaw didn't get on, so you can see that in a movie,
And it adds to it. It's cool.
You feel it, and it feels like a conflict. It's a conflict in every way. There's conflict with Brody and the mayor and uh, the community and Brody and the shark, and there's conflict with Quentin the shark and Dreyfus and Shaw. There's just conflict everywhere,
Yeah.
and it's
And
awesome.
even like filming the whole movie was a pain in the ass. So that probably like there's just like a weird like uneasy edge. Like that's because the movie's supposed to be scary too, but I wonder if everyone's on edge because the production was terrible.
I think there's
I'm
only
irritated.
this is a more like a philosophical idea or trail, mental trail, but I think some things are meant to be, some things are meant to exist, and Jaws is one of those things. Jaws is like, it's just one of those great things that's meant to be. Like if you think of all the things that could go wrong in a production, like if the shark was working, if Bruno was working, and
Bruce.
Bruce, sorry, yes, sorry, if Bruce was working, they could have had so much of it appear and ruin any sort of tension. But and the whole idea of the barrels, like you know how if you see the barrels and it's just there's the barrels, therefore the shark is around and
Yeah,
it's
it's
going to pop
scary.
up somewhere. It's there because it can't go under. So the shark is there, but if Bruce was working, you wouldn't have the barrels, you wouldn't have that suspense. It would just be a big creepy monster or fake monster. You'd
Yeah,
be
it would
hammy.
ruin
Yeah.
the effect.
So
But still, all the problems and issues and everything, you can't make a job. You can't make that movie without everything that went into it. All the production problems and the
yeah, it's like
actor problems.
with great sort of strife comes something off,
Something good.
something awesome. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
a you from this horrible disaster they got a from this they got a gleaming little diamond, and movies like that are very 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 rare.
Rare. Yeah.
And I am very I've watched it 300 times, and I'll watch it 300 more times.
Yeah, there's always something good to get out of it, whether it be feels or if you notice something that you didn't before. It's great.
Last question,
Mm.
do you think Brody collected the reward at the end?
Quinn's reward?
Mm.
No, he wouldn't be that person.
Well, there's a lot of money on the table here. There's $3,000 for the shark, and then there's also the $10,000. There's the $3,000 that the Kittner lady was giving away. There's the $10,000 that the town were giving away to kill the shark. There's 13 grand. What if Brody went to Mrs. Kittner and says, "Yeah, I know I killed your boy, but can I get that money
Could you imagine? Get
now?"
another slap.
Mm. And the other cheek.
Yeah.
This one's deserved though. Last one, not so much.
Mm.
So, honey, what did we just watch?
Jaws.
We watched Jaws. See you next time. Bye.